Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of #Newlywed Goals. Alright guys, don't forget that my blog posts and my videos go hand in hand. So be sure to check out my latest blog called It's the Little Things at turnupgirlreverse.wordpress.com. Alright guys, so let's jump into it. So this week we're discussing the little things. We've all heard the phrase, it's the little things that count. Alright, I'm here to tell you that it's those little things that can be our biggest frustrations in a marriage. I wrote in my blog post, this is an example that I wrote in my blog post about how little things can sometimes be annoying and can sometimes frustrate you and cause tiny arguments or end up being large arguments for that matter. For instance, my husband's facial hair. My husband has a full beard, so his facial hair is literally everywhere. It's in the shower, it's on the sink, like it's literally everywhere. And usually I nag about it, so it takes me about 5 to 10 minutes where I'm like, Tyler, okay, can you please just clean it up? It takes like 2 seconds to clean it up. So of course he's like rolling his eyes at this point like, okay girl, bye, no. So it's like those little small things that can sometimes be turned into a big thing. It's so funny to hear what married people argue about, and 9 times out of 10 it's probably something small, from taking the trash out to who left the toilet seat up to how to squeeze the toothpaste, which I believe it should be from the bottom up. That's just my personal opinion. But like, it's really funny that how you look at people and what they argue about, and it's really some really small stuff. And of course, I know it's pretty funny and way petty, but y'all, like, it's really serious on what we argue about. So I wanted to share just a little bit of how you can actually reverse that. Me and my husband, we went through marriage counseling, and this is something that is pretty much stuck with us in marriage counseling, and that is just do it. Do the small things. Do the things that frustrate you the most. As long as it took me to nag about my husband's facial hairs, that same energy I could have took just to clean it up. So just do the small things, and it's so amazing how once you start doing it, you'll notice that your spouse will begin to pick that up and start doing it also. I know for me, just for instance with that example of the facial hairs, now I just clean it up. Like, I don't even talk about it, I don't nag about it. And I've also noticed that he started to clean it up himself just by me doing it and not nagging about it. So just do the small things. It's pretty cool to see how they can truly transform. And plus, we have more things to be concerned about than facial hairs. So don't let the small things really get to you. Instead, just do it yourself and watch how your spouse will begin to start doing things with you and taking that initiative. Also, number 2, we should also realize that our spouse is not our enemy. When we're arguing over these small things, sometimes those arguments can magnify and get a little bigger, but we need to make sure that we realize that our spouse is not our enemy. There is an enemy, and that is Satan. Satan takes those small things and he magnifies those things just so you can get irritated and start avoiding your husband or your wife. So just be sure to understand that when you're having those arguments, just realize that it's small. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, and always remember that your spouse is always on your side. Alright, so with that being said, I have 2 takeaways from these little things. Number 1, just do it yourself. Like, don't take all that energy just to nag and complain. Literally do it yourself and watch how your spouse will begin to change and start doing things with you and start helping out with those things that may frustrate you or irritate you. And number 2, always remember who your enemy is. Your enemy is never your spouse. Satan is your real enemy. So don't let him get in your ear about something small, because that's what he wants to happen. So be sure to follow me on all social media. I'm on Instagram, on Facebook, and the name is Turn Up Girl Reverse. And also, don't forget to subscribe.